Welcome to my online class. My name is Morgan Steege, and this is for CI 507. I decided to create my online class using Canvas as the suggestion from our professor in our class. So I'm just here going to show you around a little bit with my class Canvas. So overall, I created this for my literacy unit that I am doing starting this fall. So I will go into just my Mrs. Steege third grade guided reading class. Just the first thing that I posted is just a simple announcement, just a welcome, saying welcome to Mrs. Stege's third grade guided reading group. We will be using this site during part of guided reading block. At first, my site was a little disorganized, and then as the suggestion from Tiffany came up, I decided to create modules, keep our class a little more organized. The first story in our unit is Fudgemania. So my first module is just Fudgemania, and then I have a second module, Fudgemania, the R2D2. So the first Fudgemania, this is where I put just more basic information. Certain articles, certain types of resources that my students may want to access throughout our unit. So for instance, one of the first things that we're going to be doing is doing a discussion about different character traits. So my students will be asked, as we continue to read the story, to go in and list different character traits for each character. This is simply so we can see how our characters are going to change over time. So a resource that they may want to use for this, I just did a list of character traits that they can access. So here's a list of certain traits that maybe they want to plug in. Mean, fearless, and polite, things like that. Another type of thing, we will be covering nouns, both proper and common, plural nouns, things like that. So there's a simple review of nouns. They can look at this, they can access it, they can see, oh, okay, a noun, person, place, thing. Just a simple resource that they can go back to whenever they may need to. They will also have spelling words, and here's a spelling menu. They will go on to this, and they will have to pick 3 different choices from the spelling menu board, and these will be due Friday before we take our spelling test. So they will always have access to the different activities and the different choices that they will need to complete for the spelling. They also will be asked to do a narrative writing. So here is where I posted just simple elements of narrative writing. It tells a story using time, all 8 different points in a fairly simple visual that the students can access when they start to work on their personal narrative writings. The second module that I created is the R2D2. And I really liked this module. First thing that I did, and will continue to do as we go through the unit, again, we are doing Fudgemania by Judy Blume. So I have just uploaded the different readings of the different chapters. So this is great if I have a student who maybe is sick that day, or maybe I have a student that really needs to go back and they need to listen to the story again. So here's the recordings of the different chapters of Fudgemania.
Just the lucky bride.
Just lucky.
My brother Fudge said.
I'm getting married tomorrow.
Then what I have in the other different modules is, so this will be the chapter 2 recording. I have decided we're really working on, my students are going to be really working on phonics and decoding, things like that. We're also really focusing on character traits. So here, right, for example, is a Venn diagram that they're going to create. And they're going to create this using the Read, Write, and Think app. And they're going to go in, and they are going to be able to enter their name, their project title, and then they're going to be able to start and create their own Venn diagram, and they can print it or they can save it when they're done. Then what I have for them to complete, I found this tool during our other class, and I really, really liked it. So I've uploaded a document that just gives the directions on how we're going to complete this recap assignment. So we're going to use recap, and they're just going to follow this link. They're going to enter our class code. Then they're going to click on their name. I have all my students' names already entered into the site. They're going to read question 1, and they're going to click respond. They're going to click the pink record button, and then they're going to record their response. So what they're asked to do in this activity, and the directions are all programmed in already, is to simply do a retell of one of the chapters in Judy Blume's Fudge-mania. This will be a quick way for me to assess, did they grasp what was going on in the story? Are there misconceptions that we need to address? Are they understanding the characters? Things like that. Just a really quick, easy, fun way for them to do a short little retell. In here, then I have just some different types of practice that they can do for practice with common nouns, practice with proper nouns, things like that. So here's an example of something they are going to be asked to do. They're going to be asked, let's draw and label common nouns. So they can draw a person and label it, things like that. Do they understand what a common noun is? And it's something very similar when we get back to the proper nouns as well. Then I have a paragraph graphic organizer. So they are doing a personal narrative writing, and they're going to be asked to tell a story about their most embarrassing moment. So one of the things we're doing in our face-to-face is talking about how to write a proper story in a proper paragraph. We're going to talk about the difference between hamburger style versus Big Mac style, and how we really want our students to have the Big Mac style of writing. So this is going to be a good visual to link to how we want our students to conduct their stories and their paragraphs. The students will also be participating in a couple discussions. The discussions are going to take place throughout the unit. So again, this character traits one, this is ongoing. We're going to see how our characters are going to change over time and things like that. And then this discussion is what character traits you agree with most and why, and if there's any character traits that they don't really feel best fit the character and why. So maybe at one point we thought the character was mean, and as we come to find out, that's not really how the character is. The other discussion that they're going to be asked to do elicits more of a debate. So it's thoughts about the trip to Maine, and this is part of the reflecting for the R2D2 model. So for example, do you feel it is fair that only Peter is allowed to bring a friend? Why or why not? So I anticipate some students are going to say, yes, Peter's older, Peter should get to bring a friend. Maybe when Fudge is older, he'll get to bring one. Maybe some will say if one sibling gets to bring a friend, so should the other. So I just kind of want, again, to have our students practice on how to respectfully communicate with peers, even if they differ in opinions, in that online environment. So we will be working on that as well. One of the last things that the students are going to be doing, and this is for the doing part of my unit, is they're going to be making a movie. And this is going to be at the very end of the unit, and it's going to really go over the whole book. We're going to recreate Fudge-mania and make our own movie. What I have listed here and linked is this is the previous year's, this is last year's group that created this movie. We are going to be doing something similar. So here's an example of what the students are going to be asked to do.
What happened, Peter? I just told him that I was getting married to him, and he just hated. So I don't get a married Sheila.
There's going to be different scenes. Each group, we're going to divide the chapters with different groups. We're going to have every student involved in acting out and playing a role in recreating this. The one thing I really like is that the students are going to be able to see the previous grade, how they went about creating the movie, and really get a feel for what are they being asked to do. So overall, this is my literacy unit. So again, the things that we're covering, we are reading Fudge-a-Mania by Judy Blume. We are focusing on proper, common, plural nouns, things like that. They are going to have spelling words that they're going to have to complete. And we're also working on personal narrative writings. So I hope you got a feel for what my online literacy unit is going to look like and what my students are going to be able to do. So thank you for tuning in.